This is progress report number one, and I'm calling it ground zero because this is the first progress report I've ever done for this process that I'm doing. So today we're in March 2026, and I have about 598 days until November 1st, 2027. What's happening on November 1st, 2027? Well, I'm going to have to be able to draw a $4,000 per month salary from the business that I'm starting this month. And if you're wondering, I am using notes for this particular session because I want to show you what's going on. So this isn't where I want to be. This is the very first step in where I'm going. This is not a highlight reel. Obviously, it's just exactly where things stand right now before a single video has been published. My launch date is in 2 days, 3 days, March 18th. And you're going to see this on March 18th. So this is being recorded just a few days before that. So this is where I stand before a single video has been published, before a single dollar has been brought in, before anything except the decision to begin has happened. So this series exists because I think that it is important that I share the process, that you deserve the real details, because as you're making the decision to whether to do this or not, you need to see the ups and downs. You need to see the process. You need to see what's going on. I also need the accountability of showing up every single month and doing this and share, because I forget as I grow businesses, I forget what it was like in the beginning. I forget I don't know, the trip ups, the down stuff, etc. So every single month, I want to come back here and show you exactly where I am. So I've kind of set this template so that we have kind of the same things that we're tracking each and every month, the real numbers, what worked, what didn't, etc. So we're going to go on to slide number 2. This is where we start with the data. I'm not really going to tell you anything about the data at this point. So when I did the details for this one, the Dare to Flourish YouTube channel, actually, it exists, but there's really nothing. There's nothing. There's no videos on it. I think my face is on there, but there's no header. There's no nothing. There is an about section on there, but these are the numbers as I record this. 26 subscribers, and actually that's gone up since I grabbed these numbers just a week ago, but 0 videos published, 0 views. The subscriber goal before we actually launch, or before I actually launch the e-club, in November of this year, I want at least 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I actually think I need between 4,000 and 5,000, but that's what I'm building towards. All right, next one. My email list, revenue and sales. They're all at 0 because we haven't launched anything yet. So the email list is at 0. That's being built from scratch, starting right now through this channel. The revenue this month is at 0. That's actually probably going to be at 0 for until the launch in November. I don't anticipate income from this business until that launches. I'm not going to have time to take on any coaching clients other than the ones I have. And I'm not counting those because I already had them through another source. I want you to know kind of what the revenue is going to look like up until we launch. So it's going to be 0 for several months. Retirement savings set aside since launch is 0 because I haven't launched yet. This is ground zero. This is where we're starting from nothing. Again, there won't be any retirement savings added until there's revenue in the business, at least in this tracking. Here's the next thing. So here are the goals on record. So we both know what we're measuring against, right? By October 31st, 2026, a few weeks before the e-club actually launches, I need 1,000 YouTube subscribers and 1,000 people on my email list. The typical principle is 10 times what you want to launch with. So as an example, you want at least 10 times your sales goal on your list and in your audience before you launch. So for me, that's 1,000 people on my list. From my past experience, I know that means between 3,000 and 5,000 in my audience. So YouTube's probably going to have to be closer to 3,000 to 5,000, 4,000 to 5,000. And my email list, I wanted at 1,000 because I really would like to launch the e-club membership in November 2026. And when I launch it, I would like to bring in 100 students in the cohort. I know some data about that, around that. If you bring in 100 students, about 20% will actually heavily engage with you. So that is about 20. And that is a very doable number for me to coach and guide along through this process. So by November 1st, 2027, my retirement deadline, the goal is to bring in $4,000 a month in take-home pay. And I want you to understand what that actually means because most people don't talk about this part. $4,000 in take-home pay is not $4,000 in gross revenue. Those are two very different numbers. When you run a real business, you're gonna have taxes, you're gonna have expenses, you're gonna have tools, you're gonna have reinvestment back into the business. All of it comes out before you see a dollar. So for me, a $4,000 take-home means generating roughly $20,000 a month in gross revenue. And I know that number sounds big. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't, but I'd rather you know the real picture now than build a plan around a number that doesn't hold up. So these are the goals. We're going to track against them every single month. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about what actually worked this past month. So I don't have a full month to go here on there, but I'm going to talk about what's been working leading up to the launch of the Dare to Flourish YouTube channel. So one thing worked and it mattered. I sent an email to a list from my last business with adjacent context. So the business was an online business. It was a membership. And I worked with a very, very specific subset of people in that business. And that list had been completely silent for 2 years because I shut that business down several years ago. So I sent out a series of 4 emails, no warning, no warm up, no paid ads. And it just me showing up back up and telling the truth about what I was building. 26 people, actually, it's a little bit more than that now, but 26 people stepped over and subscribed to my YouTube channel at ground zero. And 26 people said yes before I publish a single frame of content. So they're still there as of the recording of this because it's a couple days before launch. Let me be very clear. I was not trying to get everybody from that list onto my YouTube channel or onto this list that we're building. I was very explicit in filtering and making sure they understood who this was for, who this was for, who was not for, and that kind of content. So I'm very specifically building for a very specific group of people, which is women over 50 who need to build retirement revenue streams so that they're not lost in the side hustle hell thing that I call, or MLM nightmares. Like, that's not it. We need real businesses. And the thing is that as you're building your audience, the whole piece of this, my list is the best asset, the biggest asset that you can actually ever have. And I'm going to teach more other videos. I will not stray right now. So I'm more focused on building my list than I am building my social media following or my subscriber count. Everything I do here on YouTube is meant to bring people into my list, my community. That's where I'm going to connect with people. So any list, even a dormant one, even one that hadn't been heard from me in 2 years, held 26 people who are still willing to show up. And they are people very specifically target. They are people who tend to be Gen X or in the boomer range. And that's who I'm targeting. That's who I'm talking to. Maybe very older millennials. But yeah, that's who I'm talking to. That's the proof of concept right there before we've done anything else, is that the list still held power and held value, even from another business, even from another time a couple years ago. All right, and next, here's what didn't work. Okay. We're going to talk about a couple things, pathways I go down that just kind of derail me. I moved from idea to batch output way too fast. So that's kind of how I'm wired. I'm a systems and speed person. So get the process, build the machine, go. That is me. And that instinct, which usually serves me well, cost me time here. I got into scripting videos before I'd done the deeper audience research that I needed to do. And when that research came in the middle of the process instead of before it, I had to go back and re-script most of what I had written because I realized I was not actually talking to my audience, which is who I want to bring into this community. So I spent more time undoing than actually building. And that's kind of the cost of jumping ahead. And yeah, so that happens to be me. Now, the next piece of this, slide, what else didn't work? I also started going down a path I had no business going down yet. So YouTube Shorts, I committed to doing this channel. I committed to doing long form video on demand, pre-recorded stuff. I looked at YouTube Shorts. I was like, ooh, I should be doing this. And there's automated ways to pull my videos off into YouTube Shorts. I started looking at the community tab and like, ooh, I could put this and this and this here. And then I was like, oh, I should do live stream. Like I started going down all these paths. And for a minute, I was mentally building out all of it. This is me. That's how I'm wired. Multiple formats, multiple touch points, just more output. And the plan was actually just for, like I said, long form video only for now. That's it. 2 per week for the first couple of months to get into the algorithm. So you actually find me and I can actually find the audience that I'm looking for, and then down to 1 per week because that's what I know is sustainable. That's it. That's the bandwidth that I have, and that's the strategy that I committed to. And shorts, community, and live streams are real tools. I will be using them, but not yet. They're just not the right tools for me right now. So, for me in my current season of life and time and availability, I needed to commit to something simple that I could sustain. So, I had to remind myself of that and get back into my lane. So, that was like, okay. And that actually derailed me. That probably a good several hours of stuff. So, here's some things that I would do differently. I just actually have two things. First, I would do a deep audience research before I touch a single put about output. Before I touch a like working a script out or a content that I'm going to do or things like that. I know this rule. I teach this rule. I didn't follow it. Research first, script second, every time, no exceptions. And the key with that is that I needed to do multiple layers of deep research because I needed to both question myself and what I was intending with all of this and that I'm doing and who I thought I could help with this. And then I also needed to do way more research before I started because I did that first piece. I was like, okay, great, I got it. And then I was like, oh, actually, most of the people that I talk to don't think in the same way or process in the same way that I do. And so I just needed to like, oh, I need to slow this down a little bit, Christina, the producing the things that I want to give to you guys and back up and go, okay, what is she struggling with? How can I help her do this? And so because I really believe in the power of all of this to give you the revenue stream that you need in your retirement. So the second piece is I would lock the format before I open a script document. I'm only doing long form. So long form is like 10 to 13 minutes a week, but it's not like quick little shorts. It's not live streams right now. I'm not doing any social anywhere else. I'm not going to be doing posts in the community tab, things like that. I committed to 2 per week and I decide that on day one and put a wall around it. Like I said, don't let other options distract you or walk in the door until the foundation's built. So neither of these is a complicated lesson. They're just the ones that cost me time this month that I don't really have a lot of. All right, the next piece is what's actually happening next. Specific actions, no projections. I'm just going to tell you exactly what I'm doing, not what I hope to do. I am in the process of scripting, recording, and publishing the first videos. In fact, today, as I'm recording this one, I'm going to record a couple more that I've already got scripted out for you. They're long form videos. They're 2 per week, and that starts now. Literally today. I need to begin building the email list from zero. So as these videos are coming out, I am hoping that people are like, yeah, I want that resource. I want this. And then they come over to my email list and join me. And then I just keep giving you the resources that you need to keep going. The list is the goal. Every single video drives to opt into the list, not the subscriber account, not the view count, the list. So as I do every single video, it'll be driving to that leadsandleverage.com/action page. And that my intention with this is that every single video that I put out, you will get the key takeaways, the summary, and the next action steps right there that same week in from that video. So that's my goal because my intent is that YouTube is my body of work and like every single thing I teach is out there on YouTube. And single thing that I've had success with is out here on YouTube because I want this accessible to everyone, regardless of whether you eventually join me inside the e-club or not. And right now there's nothing for sale. Now you might watch this like 8 months from now. I am launching the e-club on my birthday, November 9th, 2026. So I will be 56 years old on that day that we launch it. But between now, which is March, and then there's nothing for sale. So yeah, there we go. So the list is the goal, not the subscriber count, not the view count, the list. So I will know I have succeeded when I reach 1,000 people on that email list, 1,000 people who have connected or resonated with what I'm putting out here on YouTube and know that they want to go deeper, that they want to take action, that they want to move forward. I'm going to stay on the long form only schedule. I'm not going to do shorts. I'm not going to do community posts. I'm not going to do any lives, not yet. 2 videos per week, full stop. I'm going to track and report everything, every number, every month, no spin, no excuses. We're going to analyze and go, okay, this is what happened and how can I fix that? That's the commitment that I'm making to you and to myself. So this is ground zero. I've got 26 subscribers, zero videos, $0 saved, one deadline, one plan. I'm not going to tell you I'm confident that this will work. YouTube, I mean, I know the business will work. I just don't know if YouTube is where I need to be. Every other business that I've built, I've used all kinds of other list building ways. I've done snail mail, I've done Facebook, I've done in person, etc. But I've not used YouTube. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going to tell you I'm building this anyway. I'm willing to take the chance that YouTube doesn't work because I need to get these teachings out there regardless. They need to be out there. And really, that's all that there is to really share in this. And yeah, you guys, this is great. Thank you. And I'll see you next month.